Let's get to the point. Modern women wanted gentlemen, good communication skills, and all the sixes including a large tool size. And then, a man who also has a house, a car, and way too many things just so they can live a trophy life lifestyle while you work your ass off to provide for them. These things are the reason why many men work a lot to even get a chance in the dating scene. Unfortunately, it all turns out to be a scam because even after ticking all those boxes, women ain't happy. While many men simply decide not to play this stupid game, and rightfully so, other men try time and time again to understand what the problem is. You know, saying things like, I must be doing something wrong. But sooner or later, they realize that they're not the problem. Modern women are. For instance, modern women want equality, but once they must pay, they want their privileges back. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, it's time for them to pay. Check this out.
So, what are your thoughts on prenups, and how would you approach it, or what advice would you give as far as for a woman that may be wealthy, well off, and they're looking to get married?
Get a prenup. Because I didn't have one, and that's why I ended up having to just give everything away, because it's so, let me just speak, it's so whack right now that men, can come at you and get and get alimony. So when I was getting a divorce, I was like, you mean to tell me I got to pay him? And he cheated and he lied and he stole, and not to get all petty, but you know what I'm saying? You mean I gotta pay him for cheating and lying to me and ruining my life? So yeah, and the law is you have to, so I say get a prenup, cover yourself up.
So, it's a pity that men get paid alimony, but it's okay for women to rip off a man just because she doesn't feel happy anymore. The delusion of modern women has reached biblical proportions, and honestly, I can't do anything but shake my head. Like, what language do these women speak? I mean, really, that's exactly what this video is all about. We're delving into modern women's new language, aka womanese, what they really mean, and why this is one of the main reasons why men stop dating like never before. Stick around because I'm sure you're going to love this one. But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to an OG, Mr. Incognito. He said, going solo has opened my doors. I finally started business and working on my grind, and I finally managed to quit the 9-to-5 life 9 months ago. Would never been possible if I was dating. Now, stories like that is what it's all about. Good shit. Please don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5 for that comment of the day. As usual, guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps a lot. And now, back to the video. Embrace your masculinity.
It wouldn't occur to me that my relationship or my situation would in any way be in jeopardy by my husband forging a relationship with men who really care about male self-improvement. Like that would not occur to me. Why do you think it occurs to some of these women?
I think generally women don't know what they want. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with a woman and we started off the conversation, she was a feminist, and she left with traditional values. Like, it's very, very important if you're a man to stick firm to how you believe the situation should go. And I think guys will be shocked that if you can hold that frame with a woman, she will absolutely be much happier than she ever would have been if you kissed her.
This is absolute madness. Good is bad, bad is good. Right is wrong, and wrong is right. And yeah, it looks like feminists want a traditional guy, but they refuse to be traditional women who are dutiful to their men. While she expects you to pay for expensive dates, mainly because she deliberately chose the most expensive dishes, she still wants to live up to her values, or rather, stupid feminist ideologies. Seriously, you can't make this shit up. You see, in the realm of dating and relationships, the clash between traditional and modern values has become increasingly pronounced. Traditionally, it was an accepted norm that men would cover the expenses of dates, and this expectation persisted for generations. Rather, it still plagues the minds of modern women themselves. They're feminists, boss babes, and all that jazz, but they wouldn't date a weak, broke man anyway. Integrity is nowhere to be found. However, the tides of society are shifting, and the rebellion against these traditional gender roles is palpable. So many men go on dates without giving an F about the woman's opinions. She's independent, right? So she can pay for her own food and transportation. By the way, the incentives for you to be a gentleman are slim to none because, let's face it, being called a sexist because you open doors is not cool. In today's world, modern women are navigating a dating landscape that often conflicts with the expectation of traditional treatment, giving rise to thought-provoking discussions on the importance of aligning expectations, questions that we men have to answer because these women's minds change more than the stock market.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
A liberal masculine man. That is a good example of an oxymoron. Just like saying cooperative modern woman. So let's break this woman's thought process down. 1. I want my man to fulfill his traditional role. 2. I don't want to fulfill my traditional role. Translation: low-value woman wants a high-value man. Delusional. This is the equivalent to saying that this feminist seeks a man who can fix things, change the car oil, and give her money, but does not expect anything womanly in return. In all honesty, I don't feel any sympathy because she's getting just what she deserves. She's not really clear about what she wants and expects a liberal man, or rather a weak man who blindly follows the current thing and is a good provider and protector. Sorry, but ain't no smart man playing that game. Men like Logan Paul might want to take part, but I'm not into a woman who wants me to be a superhero while she doesn't provide any value in return. Back to our topic. Historically, dating customs were deeply rooted in traditional values. Men were expected to take the lead in courting and demonstrate their commitment by covering the expenses of dates. This practice symbolized chivalry and was considered a way for men to display their interest and respect for women. In many cultures, it was ingrained that men should pay for dates, and this expectation was seldom questioned. These days, though, it really makes no sense because if women make their own money, what's the problem of them paying for their own food? I mean, let's think of a simple scenario you've probably gone through. You go on a date with a chick who brags about everything under the sun but homemaking skills. So, she shows off her job, money, status, and even how good she's at sucking dick. All that jazz that makes her either another cog in the wheel or a pump and dump. She's the archetypical woman who doesn't need a man at all, but when it's time to pay, she suddenly needs to go to the bathroom. This is the clown world men are fed up with. Asking women what they want is akin to waiting for the legal system to be fair during divorce cases because it's a lost cause.
Average man is treated better by women overseas. Why do men prefer to stay here and play the game when the odds are so heavily stacked against them?
Well, I think it's because it's what they know, and the thing that the United States has going for it is that the money's all here. So we all have to make a living and support ourselves and our lifestyles. So that's the reason, because you end up missing our culture we grew up in when you live in another country. But I'll tell you what, it's such a different feeling when you're in another country, how great you get treated as a man.
Society is undergoing a seismic shift in recent years. Traditional roles and norms are increasingly being challenged. The rebellion against these established roles is not limited to dating, but extends to various aspects of life. Modern women, in particular, claim to be at the forefront of this change, actively reshaping societal expectations regarding their roles and rights. Nah, when problems come through, they always want to be protected by masculine men. Yeah, the same men they label as toxic because they have standards, hit the gym, and want to build good lives for themselves. Let that sink in. In this evolving landscape, modern women often find themselves at a crossroads when it comes to dating. A crossroad they wouldn't find themselves in if they did their job correctly, of course. While the desire for traditional treatment persists for some, it may not align with the evolving dynamics of modern relationships. Expecting men to adhere to traditional roles in dating can create friction in a world where gender roles are less defined than ever before. Modern women don't want to self-improve at all, but one recurring theme in discussions surrounding dating and relationships is the idea of being what you want to attract. This principle suggests that if you seek a partner who embodies certain traditional values or behaviors, you should be prepared to reciprocate those values and behaviors. I mean, it's not difficult to understand. It's akin to do unto others as you'd want them to do unto you, the golden rule of philosophy. But these women make things 10 times more difficult. In essence, aligning your own expectations with what you desire in a partner becomes crucial. Many men know this for a fact. For example, many men want a stay-at-home wife, so they work a lot to first retire their moms. Then, they make a lot of money just so their wives are well taken care of. Instead of having to work, these women can maintain a household and raise kids. This is the model of society that's been working for ages. But why on earth has this become obsolete? Yeah, feminism.
When you have feminism that encourages the woman to become another man, and you got two people trying to drive a car, are you going to be able to drive a car? You need one person in order for you to drive a car. You cannot have two people, two steering wheels, one going left, one going right. The car is not going to function. So there has to be a person calling the shots in every relationship. But feminism is opposite to the idea. It tells women to go into the workforce, and then they build this habit of competing with men. They lose the attributes of femininity, of shyness. They have to compete with other men to get what they want. In the end, you end up with a woman that is not attractive to the opposite gender psychologically, based on what we are naturally attracted to. These are the effects of feminism.
If a chick hopes to find a partner who is financially responsible and willing to cover the expenses of dates, is it reasonable to consider whether she's also financially responsible and willing to reciprocate in other ways? For sure, if she's got student debt, she just doesn't qualify. She's independent, right? She can use her low-tier job to pay off her useless gender studies degree and be a slave to the banks. You ain't taking that burden. Simply put, the concept of reciprocity in relationships underscores the importance of both partners contributing to the relationship's success. However, the modern dating landscape presents a unique dilemma for both men and women. On one hand, traditional values and behaviors continue to hold appeal for many chicks and, for sure, many men. Acts of chivalry, such as a man paying for a date, are viewed as romantic gestures and signs of respect. On the other hand, modern relationships emphasize equality and shared responsibilities. Like, where do we stand? Blurred lines are the norm, unfortunately. The clash of these expectations can lead to confusion and miscommunication in dating scenarios. Modern women may find themselves torn between their desire for traditional treatment and their commitment to modern values of independence and equality. To navigate the complexities of modern dating successfully, men who want to date are forced to understand the evolving dynamics of relationships, which is a very complex task. The dating landscape is not one size fits all. It encompasses a diverse range of preferences, values, and expectations. What works for one couple may not work for another, and that's perfectly acceptable, for sure. But what's not acceptable is being called toxic, scumbag, good for nothing, and whatever, and still being expected to be an ATM. Like, shorty, this ain't GTA. There's no, infinite money glitch. This is real life. Anyway, it is crucial to consider the broader societal context. Economic factors, cultural backgrounds, and individual circumstances all play a role in shaping dating dynamics. For instance, in an era of rising living costs and economic challenges, which of course is one of the disastrous byproducts of feminism, the expectation that one party should bear all financial burdens may be impractical for many couples. Check this out.
Let's rewind, inshallah. So your initial point was it was a two-pronged question. The first point was with regards to the man's responsibility is to provide for the household, and then the second part was what if she's given birth. So we'll address both issues. You expect me to work. Let's make it different. My wife expects me to work, provide, and so on and so forth. Normal, adi, right? Okay. If a man is in a privileged position, which unfortunately is a privilege today, to be able to sustain a household and a family on one salary, that's a privilege. Because the reality is most people need two incomes. So you're in that privileged position. Excellent. I expect a privilege in return. The privilege I am offering you is to stay at home where you want to be in the first place. The privilege I expect back is a relaxed wife who hasn't been obeying her master in the workplace, taking orders from her master over there. No, she's at home and she has the food ready for me and the house is tidy and everything's cool. That's the value. It's an exchange of value. So if I am in this privileged position to be able to take care of a woman on her own and she wants to work, in my case personally, it's not going to happen. But if a man allows this, then it is within his right for him to expect her to contribute towards the household bills because she is taking value from him.
Sustaining a household on one income is not a piece of cake. So if a woman really has a man who can provide that type of lifestyle to her, she's nothing short of a queen. The sad reality, though, is that ain't no grateful women out there. No matter what you do for her, that will never be enough. And if you bring up all the things you did for her, can you guess what she'll say? I didn't ask you to do that. That's the level of ingratitude of modern women, which, by the way, is one of the main causes of the rise of the MGTOW philosophy. Women wanted a traditional man, right? Great, but only as long as women do their job, and that includes simple things like dressing modestly, keeping their social media pages private, or preferably not having social media at all, listening to you, and obeying you. Yes, sir, obeying you. She's home where she wanted to be in the first place, as that smart man pointed out, and now you give her everything she ever wanted: shelter, food, clothing, and even good sex and quality time? Isn't that a dream life? Sure, it is, but these women think that obeying a boss who doesn't give an F about them is better than obeying a husband who takes care of his woman. In the midst of this ongoing debate, finding common ground becomes paramount. It's important for couples to engage in open and honest discussions about their expectations and preferences in dating. Cool, if she's so independent, let's go Dutch on household bills, dinner dates, trips, and whatever. Communication is key to building successful and fulfilling relationships, right? So be it. But if chicks these days can't understand this easy logic, they're free to take the door, but you ain't allowing them back in. All in all, in the realm of dating and relationships, the clash between traditional and modern values persists as society evolves, or rather, declines like morality. The expectation that men should pay for dates, rooted in tradition, often conflicts with the changing dynamics of modern relationships. This clash of expectations has given rise to interesting discussions on the importance of aligning expectations in dating. The takeaway here is simple. If women wanted honesty, there, they have it. Now, I don't want to see any tears or them crying a river because there are no good men left. Sure, there are bad apples out there, but the vast majority of men just dream of having a dutiful wife who will take care of the house and the kids while they work a lot to ensure they're all well taken care of. Didn't modern women want that in the first place? Yes and no, meaning that they want to chill and still live as if they were single while they've got some sort of sugar daddy funding their lifestyles. While traditional values may hold appeal for some, modern relationships emphasize inequality and separate responsibilities. Finding common ground and engaging in open communication is key to building successful and fulfilling relationships. I don't deny that, but in a world where expectations are continually evolving, it's just a waste of time to engage in any interactions with modern women. If women are still unclear, they'd better use the time they have for themselves to determine what they really want. but rest assured that they'll never meditate on that. They'll still hang out with bad boys who just pump and dump them. You're better off alone, and trust me, your mental health and wallets will be more than happy. Stay strong, guys. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you will get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.